my mom has always been a person of significant connection. When she had a conversation with somebody, it wasn't just about the weather, it was deep. She went right deep into something. And I think I inherited that from her. And so that being said, I invite anybody who has anything at all to say. It doesn't have to be deep. Any impressions or memories or feelings you have of my mom, I now open the microphone to you folks to share that. And then afterwards, I'm going to read absent guest statements, and then we're going to do a lovely closing ceremony with Rena and Abby. So, folks, the microphone is yours. So I invite Nisha to the microphone. Nisha is a very good friend. We've known each other for, is it amplified? Okay. Oh yeah. Can you step on the switch there? I've known Nisha maybe like 20 years now. Yeah. So I love Nisha.
And I love Jean.
Always supportive and positive and loving. So Nisha, this is your mic now, and I look forward to hearing what you got to say.
Not too incriminating for you. Hi everybody. I'm not used to speaking in front of people, but I just have to say that Galena was one in a million, and I first met her at Gene's house when he had sort of an open house celebratory party for the first house that he bought. And we were fast friends, Galena and I. How could you not be? She was an artist, I was an artist, and I used to weave, she weaves, you know. It's just talking about anything. You could just talk about anything with her. And here was this party that probably had, I don't know, 50 people there. But where were the majority of people were around Jean's mom. It's like, no matter what, whenever there was a party and she was always there, you just looked for the crowd, and his mom was in the middle of that. And it was because everybody just loved to talk to her. Even when you talked to Jean, one of the first questions was, how's your mom? You know, so I just have to say that Jean has done an incredible job. Having come from a large family and having lost my parents recently, I had help. And Jean, bless your heart, you did a remarkable, remarkable job in honoring your mom. And you did it, yes, with help of friends, but in essence alone. And you soldiered through this just like your mom did in raising you and bringing you here and giving you a wonderful life. And her spirit lives on. And I hope that somehow her artwork can continue, either part of a permanent collection somewhere or a traveling collection, because it just shows her light and her creativity and her she's capable of everything. I mean, my goodness, look at, there's weaving and painting and woodwork, but that's just skimming the surface. It's like Jean says, there's a heart there, there's a survivor, there's a woman with a tremendous amount of love and tolerance and wisdom and acceptance. I mean, every person that was at Jean's party from that first time on was like it was one of her kids. You know, we all gravitated to her for that same reason of nurturing and light and creativity and humor. She was very, very funny. So, you know, for the few times that I had met her, the lovely thing is to get to see her spirit reflected in Jean, and very lucky to have him as a lovely friend. And I see your mom's spirit live on in you, and may you pass it on to others, and I'm sure everybody here has been touched by it. So thank you, Galena. Really, she lit up people's lives more than I think she could ever know. So, and thank you, Jean, for having such a lovely memorial. It was fantastic.
My name is Dennis, and about 35 years ago, 30 years ago, something like that, I signed up to be a Big Brother, Jewish Big Brother, and lo and behold, this little Eugene Kulik came into my life, and that's when I met Galena. And Jean and I have been friends all along, but what I was struck by with Galena was this was a lady who she did whatever had to be done. You know, I heard early on about how she brought this grand piano, somehow gotten it out of Russia, the Soviet Union. And in my mind, if she had to carry it on her back, she would have gotten it out of, she would have brought it along. And she instilled in Jean also a ability and determination to get things done and to look at things with fresh eyes, to have a great respect for the world. And she was really a remarkable woman. She, as you've seen, she's very, very talented, and just simply one of, I would say, her greatest work of art is her son, who reflects her beauty, her love, her heart, her courage, and for that, I'm very grateful to Galena.
A little story about when Dennis mentioned that if my mom could carry the piano on her back. There was a story where when we first came to America, there were distant relatives that we met, some in Las Vegas, some in San Fernando Valley, I believe, and David Reitman. Arthur, a cousin, Arthur Rudiak, is the son of Gertrude, who, actually I'm going to read a statement from Gertrude in a little while. But a funny story, David Reitman had a laundry business. Is that correct me if I'm wrong? Yeah. And he was living in San Fernando Valley, and we went to visit him, and he had sacks of quarters, heavy sacks of quarters. And he made a joke, Galena, if you can grab 2 sacks, lift them and carry them out, they're yours. Oh my gosh. And which was a complete joke because he knew she wouldn't do it. And she actually she lifted, she actually got those sacks off the ground. And he's like, no, I was just kidding, I was just kidding. And she was like, I lifted them off the ground. She was upset, like, I did it. He reneged on the deal. But the point is, my mom, she did that. That story speaks for itself. So please, anyone else, all welcome to come.
My name is Pavel. I'm a second cousin to Eugene. So, and I do believe that I am the person who knew Galena over 50 years. Nobody can compete with me with that. More accurate, she knew me from almost day one that I was born. And and I remember, and Galena and Gale, how we called her in childhood, is a very energetic woman. My grandma is a sister to her, to Galena's father, and it was very appealing to me when I saw the picture. Maybe you pay attention, maybe not. That small boys in glasses and a small girl. I do believe that those are Galena's father in childhood and my grandma. Wow. And another picture when I saw my mom with her cousins, Galena and Zoes. So at least couple of other picture I could recognize who they are. Because I knew very close Galena's mother, Aunt Mara, first name Maria, but we called her Mara. And so I knew a lot of people who was on those pictures, on pictures related to her life in former Soviet Union. And as I said, I remember her as a very energetic person who overcome a lot of things in life in the Soviet Union. Was really hard, especially for everybody, but especially for Jews. And she overcome a lot. She got some help here, and she was really appreciated, especially to Gertrude, right, her name, who helped her with buying apartment and a place to live. But that's not. But again, in Soviet Union, I understood a lot, maybe more than most people here who never been in Soviet Union, never lived in Soviet Union, how much tough time she had living there. And it was, she was hero that she left that country earlier than for example, my parents was not that brave to leave the country, so and that's why my brother and I did it ourselves later. But Galena did it on time with her sister, and being single parent with her sister and a small son and little son. I remember this little son, how he played with my brother, who is 1 year senior him. They was, well, two little boys. So,
We were maybe 6 or 7 years old.
yeah, or five and six,
five,
yes, something like that. Yeah, so I remember that time. So, and what happened next? That when she left at, I guess, 1978. For some time we had information about her through my grandmas, but when my grandma passed away, unfortunately all connection was cut off because my parents had security clearance, and their job will be in jeopardy in Soviet Union if they contacted anybody who lived abroad. Actually, everybody who had security clearance must sign obligation that no contacts to people abroad, especially those who consider traitors, like everybody who immigrated to Israel. So that's why we lost connection, and I wasn't aware that they finally resided in Los Angeles, even when I came here over 17 years ago. And in 2008, all of a sudden, I had talked to my dad. Unfortunately, my mom, Galena's cousin, passed away a while ago too, while in Soviet Union. And I mentioned that here my Aunt Galena immigrated in America. Do you know where? And he said, Los Angeles. Okay. I immediately Googled her and Eugene, and in an hour, I had both phones, Eugene and Galena.
Yeah, Google.
Despite that they changed their last name, because I always knew that she was Kulik, that it was her step-dad name. Yeah, and when she immigrated, she changed it to Segal, but that was not a problem, because my grandma was Nina Segal. So as soon as I was shown that there is, I Googled Galena Kulik, and all of a sudden I see, no, it's not Kulik, there's Galena Segal. Okay, here it is. I was positive that it was she, and I remember her surprised voice when I called her and said, "Are you my Aunt Galena?" She said, "Yes, I am."
After 35 years?
After 30 years,
30
yeah,
years.
because you immigrated, she left in 1978, and I contacted in 2008, so it's exactly 30 years. What can I say? I remember her mainly as I said, very energetic woman in her 30th and 40th. I spent some times at the vacation home in Odessa with her mother, Maria, and Mara. I stayed there several times. In 30 years, I met a woman who was 30 years old. I wouldn't recognize her in person if I met her on the street, but when she said first words, I immediately recognized her voice. Voice didn't change. Voice remained as young as she was, as I remember her. And again, I would recognize her on her most recent picture taken here. It was not on Gala that I remember. I still remember her 30th and 40th as of those pictures that we all see.
My name's Arthur, and I'm the Las Vegas contingent here today. I'm one of the, I'm not sure which level cousin I am with Eugene, but I remember him when he came in 1979. He and Galena came over to my grandmother's house. It was that would have been my grandfather's birthday, which was on Christmas. And we always celebrated it as a family. And there are a couple things about Galena. I mean, there are a lot of things about Galena that I really loved and enjoyed. But there are a couple things that always really stuck with me. And one of them was she never lost the old ways from the old country. And I was moving into a new house in Minden, Nevada. And she came to me and she goes, "Oh, you need to get rid of the spirits from the old people that were there." And she had to get a bowl of water in a cup and pour the water over each handle of all the doorknobs in your house, you know, to get rid of the spirits. And I did that, just you know, because I trusted her wisdom. And the other thing that always amazed me when I would talk to her is she was always learning something new. And you know, and I imagine to the day she died, that she always continued that on. It was always that she was writing a manuscript. She wanted to tell her story. She wanted to learn a new craft. And it taught me that, you know, once you get your degree in college and you get your job or whatever it is in your career in life, life doesn't stop. That there are many things that you can continue to explore. And so I always appreciated that lesson that I learned from her. And she will be missed.
My name is Ludmila. We were good friends with Galena, and I apologize in advance for my English, which is much poorer than my Russian. Galena was the first person whom I met when our family migrated to USA. And Galena helped me a lot because we were not prepared for immigration. We did not know practically how it works, what we have to do, where to go, which doors should be opened by us. Because it was very hard, you see, actually it was not communication. It was very rare letters from people who immigrated to USSR. And what we only had a very colorful pictures where immigrants stay on the very long, on back of them, it was very long cars, and it was symbol of prosperity. We don't know in details what people coming here go through. And Galena tried to protect me, to say what to do, what not to do, and it was very precious for me. And what I can tell, Galena is a very creative, very talented person. Today it was mentioned, she was a mathematician, musical teacher, she was a very good artist. I can't imagine that one person made so huge work. It is a lot of work. It is months or years, and in everything she was very successful. Because we see it is real, very good, not maybe masterpiece, but very precious work. And what is very sad to say is that Galena has a very hard life. Probably every person goes through the life with maybe bad times, misfortune, lose people and so on. But Galena's life, it is something outstanding. She had very high intellect, very, how to say, fragile or very gentle soul. And she could be very strong to live and to raise her only child. When I think about Galia's life, we name it Galia, it's simpler. I recollect always my favorite fairy tale, Mermaid. If you remember, she loved so much that she wanted to change her tail for 2 legs like normal girls who live on the earth. And when she walked, it is so painful, like she was walking over the broken glass. So Galena, with her different features, was walking on this broken glass when she lived. And God gives us demand, necessity to love somebody. And all love which Galena had in her heart went to her son Zhenya. She gave even more than is possible, moreover for the woman who raised child alone. And her life, Zhenya continues her life. And he is also talented. And what he arranged today for us, it is something I never participated in such events. It's very warm. It very shows big love, Zhenya to her mom, to his mom, I'm sorry. And if she could hear his speech today, she would be so happy. And one interesting moment which I wanted to mention and forgot, she always lived in very hard situation when she was a child, a young girl. We heard an interview. And she told me when she was a girl and was walking on the street, she looked on the building close to each other, like small space between this building. And she dreamed that if to put roof on the top and door, she could live there. It would be her space. It would be her place. And all of us think that something exists above. So all our hope for that.